Hey guys, this is Malinki. Welcome back to my channel, Voice of Malinki. Today we will talk about mechanism of vision. And if you are new in my channel, please subscribe my channel. And if you like my video, please do like, comment and share my video. So in the last lecture, we have studied detailed structure of eye. Hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Now we will talk about the mechanism of vision or how we can see. So, in the structure of eye, we have seen that photoreceptor cells which are actually responsible for image formation, they are located in the retina. So, this is the retina. This is the innermost layer of the eye, and photoreceptor cells are located in retina, and these cells are responsible for the image production. Right? So hence light needs to be reached till retina. Okay. So, light from outside first crosses this cornea. So, this is the cornea, and first light crosses this cornea from outside. It is light. Now, you can see that this cornea is curved like this, right? Therefore, it helps to focus light onto the retina. Okay. Now, after crossing this cornea, this light moves through an opening, that is the pupil. So, this is the pupil, this is an opening. And the light now passes through this pupil. Okay. Now you can see iris is present here. Right? Now this iris controls how much light the pupil lets in. Next, light passes through this lens. So first light hits cornea, it enters eye, then it crosses pupil, and then it crosses lens. Lens focuses light on the retina. So, lens then focuses light on the retina, and this light hits the photoreceptors in the retina. So, photoreceptors are present in the retina. Okay. Now, let's focus on this picture. So, I am zooming this portion here. Okay. Now, photopigments are present here. So, there are some photoreceptor cells. Let it be rod or cone. I am zooming one cell here, and this cell contains photopigments. So, you can see suppose this is the photopigment that is present in one photoreceptor cell, let it be rod or cone. And the photopigments are composed of opsin, that is a protein, and retinal. So, retinal is the aldehyde of vitamin A. Now this retinal absorbs light. It absorbs light. Light induces dissociation of the retinal from opsin. So now opsin and retinal are dissociated. And this retinal is responsible for the color of the photopigment. So its dissociation from opsin results in bleaching of pigments, right? Because why it is responsible for bleaching of pigments? Because retinal is responsible for the color of photopigment. And now it is dissociated from opsin when it absorbs light, and that results in bleaching of pigments, and it changes in structure of the opsin. So the structure of opsin is now also changed. This causes membrane permeability changes in these neurons. And you know that photoreceptors are nothing but neurons, right? So as a result, potential differences are generated in the photoreceptor cells because of the change of membrane permeability. And that potential differences which are now made, that produces a signal that generates action potentials in the ganglion cells through the bipolar cells. So you can see that from these photoreceptor cells, the action potential is now coming toward the bipolar cells, and from bipolar cells, these are now coming to the ganglion cells. So if you can recall eye anatomy, you will find the arrangement of neuronal cells in eye retina. So these action potentials or nerve impulses are transmitted by the optic nerves to the visual cortex area of the brain, where the neural impulses are analyzed and the person can see. So from this ganglion cells, nerve impulse will now move toward the optic nerve. And from this optic nerve, the impulse will reach toward the brain. And where in the brain? In the visual cortex area of brain, where the neural pulses or neural impulses are analyzed and the person can see. During dark, there is the regeneration of photopigments when opsin and retinal are attached again. So is this clear till now? That photoreceptor cells are present in the retina, and those cells contain photopigments. Photopigments are made up of opsin and retinal. So retinal first absorbs light and then gets dissociated with opsin. So opsin and retinal are now separated. And when they are separated, there will be the photobleaching and there will be the difference in their structure. When the difference in their structure will occur, the membrane potential of the photoreceptors will change. That will yield nerve impulse, and the nerve impulse will now flow down from photoreceptor cells toward bipolar cells, from bipolar cells toward ganglion cells, and ganglion cells are attached with some optic nerves, and that nerve impulse will now flow through the optic nerve toward the visual cortex of brain, and at that part the image will be produced. Okay, so now two questions arise. So what are those two questions? The first question is, how does iris control the amount of light pupil lets in? And the second question is, how does lens adjust the focus? So we will address these two questions now. Coming to the first question, how does iris control the amount of light pupil lets in? So we have seen that iris consists of some smooth muscles or muscles. So iris has some muscles, right? We know that it has some muscles. Okay, and they are present surrounding the pupil. So if I erase this part, then you can understand it in the better way. Okay, so this is the pupil and this is the iris, and the iris contains some muscles. Okay, now light enters the eye through the pupil and the iris regulates the amount of light by controlling the size of the pupil, and this is known as pupillary light reflex. Okay, but how does it do so? So let's see this picture. Now the iris contains two types of smooth muscles. One is circular muscles. These muscles are present in the circular form, and other is this radial muscles. These are the radial muscles. So two types of muscles are present in iris. Circular muscles are circular and radial muscles are rod-like structure. These two types of muscles are present in iris. Now, when there is bright light, these circular muscles contract. Circular muscles are contracting in this way. You can see the muscles are getting contracted, and the iris, that is decreasing the size of the pupil. So this is pupil, the blue one is pupil you can see, and the size of the pupil gets decreased. So this is in case of bright light. Circular muscles are getting contracted. You can see they are moving in this orientation, and when they are contracted, the pupil becomes very small. Therefore, at that time, very low amount of light will enter the eye. Now we will see in case of dim light what happens. So in case of dim light, or when the light is very low, these radial muscles will contract in this way. The movement will be in this way. Therefore, the iris increases the size of the pupil. You can see the pupil size is increased. Therefore, at that time, more amount of light will enter. And next question is, how does lens adjust the focus? First of all, lens only focuses at one distance clearly. Therefore, it has to adjust the focus in order to see an image from different distances. Lens of our eye is an adjustable element. It changes its shape to adjust the focus for different distances. This process is called accommodation. Now, accommodation is controlled by muscles which are connected to the lens called ciliary muscles. So, we have seen in this picture, these are some ciliary muscles. Now, see this picture that when an object is nearby, what happens? The ciliary muscles are contracted. So, these are ciliary muscles and you can see, and here is the lens. So, ciliary muscles are surrounding the lens. This is the normal condition. Now, when the object is nearby, these ciliary muscles are contracted in this direction. In the outward direction, they are contracted. And when they are contracted, you can see in this picture, the curvature of lens is increased and the lens is thickened here. Right? And when the object is far, that time what happens? The ciliary muscles are relaxed. So, they are relaxed and they are moving in this inner direction, so that it decreases the curvature of the lens and the lens becomes thin like this. Lens becomes thin.